Today's video is probably going to be the most personal video I put on the channel, but I hope it's going to be one of the most beneficial ones. It's about coming back from rock bottom, whether it's with your trading results and life in general. The reason why I've done life as well is because I think your life circumstance heavily affects your trading results. If you're in a bad headspace, struggling with basic things, you're going to struggle to perform well trading, and they go hand in hand. So I'm going to talk you through my journey, my story about how I went from rock bottom back up. Still progressing now, not where I want to be, but you're progressing massively, and I think this should help a lot of people that can relate to these situations. So yeah, let's get into the video. So firstly, I want to talk about the initial downfall. So for me personally, I've always been an ambitious person from when I left school. I thought, trading, I'm going to learn this skill set. It's going to, make me a lot of money. I'm going to progress massively. And, I think a lot of us will realise when doing it, it's an extremely tough business. And sometimes you don't feel like you're making progress. You're going day in, day out, especially for the first few years. And you're going day in, day out. You're either making money or making little money, or you're losing money. And you struggle to stay positive sometimes. Like, overall, I think a lot of people would describe me as quite a tenacious, determined, ambitious person. But, year upon year, when you're not making money or you're struggling, it can negatively impact you mentally. Especially if you've got people around you or friends that don't understand what you're doing, so they don't support you, or they might support you, but they just don't understand what you're trying to achieve and trying to do. And when you're not making progress, you're struggling to stay positive. It can lead to bad habits, especially if you're, when you're 18, 19, 20. Naturally, society, drinking, going out with your friends is quite a normal thing. And I thought it was fine, go out on the weekend, have drinks with my mates. But what I failed to realise was the fact that trading is a performance-based business. So for everyone else that was in uni or doing an apprenticeship or had a job, a salaried job, it didn't matter if they come into work hungover on the Monday. It didn't matter if they weren't performing well, because they're getting paid either way. They can have a bad day. But with trading, if you have a bad day, you can end up losing a lot of money, or you can end up just going backwards. And I didn't think about this. I thought, well, I'm the same as them. I just wanted, you went out with your friends and just had drinks, and those things are fine in moderation, but then when it starts becoming a bad habit, it starts, it's just at the weekend you go out, and then it's like, okay, there's no trades tomorrow. I've looked at the charts. I know there's going to be no trades. I'm not in an area where I want to buy or sell. So I'm going to end up going out and having a drink, just a couple of drinks midweek, and then it filters into other things. And before you know it, and this is what happened with me, it's not just the drinks, but just self-destruction in general. You're struggling to stay positive. You're not making the progress you want to make. You then have bad habits, which are filling you with excitement, dopamine, fun, quick highs. And then you just self-destruct without realizing, subconsciously. Like for me, you were taking trades that weren't there. They were just not part of your strategy, just because you were having losing weeks or losing months. You're trying to escape from accepting that you're not where you want to be, and accepting your failures by going out and having drinks and eating bad food and giving those quick rushes, all fun and games. And that catches up on you, and that's what caught up with me. I was going out with mates, having drinks, living the fun life, even though I sort of could pretend. When I had a few drinks, you could pretend in your head, like, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. But I wasn't actually progressing. I was going backwards, but I didn't feel that at the time. And yeah, as you can see here, just going out, having drinks and having losing weeks and losing months, it all catches up on you. And then for me, it hit rock bottom. You're not where you want to be. You're not making good money. You've lost money. You're going out and you're drinking, and you're so far away from the person you once thought you were going to be. And that's what happened with me. So my rock bottom happened last year, about New Year's last year, where we went out and it just, some events happened, scenarios happened, bad decisions were made. Obviously alcohol as well, it doesn't help to the decision making. Mentally, you're just drained from everything that happens, and personal things happened. And that's the thing that you don't hear about with trading, is you look to buy a course, or you look to do, learn to trade, but you can have all the knowledge, which is what I had, and I learned it for 3 years and I was consistent. But when you have life circumstances hit you, whether it's a relationship fail, or you have a death in your family that you're grieving, you're not mentally in a good place, or you're just not where you want to be, then scenarios can occur where you end up being so far away from the person you once wanted to be, because you're making the decisions to deal with those those mental struggles. And you think, oh well, it's like I relate it to like a footballer or a performance-based like sport. Like you can see a striker that has a fantastic season and does extremely well one season, but then they end up falling off, and you question why are they not doing well, and it's because maybe you find out that they've lost a loved one, or they're struggling mentally in their personal life. So that's why I've tied in this video personal life and trading, because it's related. So like I said, lots of some scenarios, some big things happened personally in my life, you know, losing relationships and you know, death of family members and stuff like that. And it got to a point where all those bad habits that I was using before, which I didn't realize were bad, it caught up on you. And like I said, last year scenarios occurred and it just wasn't good, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, I'm so far away from the person I once thought I would be. You know, you look at this picture here, I'm not massively overweight, but for me, I was the heaviest I've been. I was unhealthy. Again, bad decisions happen when you go out, have drinks, you do stupid things, and you're just at rock bottom. And so I know how it feels if you guys are there and you're struggling, you've clicked on this video because you just don't know what to do. But what I would say is sometimes it can be the most positive thing that ever happened, because for me at the time I thought this is the worst thing, like I'm done and out, you know what I mean? But being at rock bottom, as cliche as it sounds, if you're at rock bottom you can't go any further. At this point everything's a bonus, so you need to get small wins on the board. You need to start by, and what I did is I just looked at doing small things like, you know, I wanted to go to the gym, so I'd go in the gym for 10-15 minutes. I wouldn't overwhelm myself, I need to run a marathon, you know what I mean? It would be like, okay, get into the gym, start building these positive habits and replace those bad habits with positive habits. Like I said, sometimes it can be the most positive thing to happen, because I think Steve Jobs said this, it was, you can only draw the dots looking backwards. At the time when things happen, you don't know, you think it's awful, and when you're in it, but when you look back and you connect everything that happened, sometimes it can lead to a positive outcome. So for me, you know, you lost friends, and some of it was my fault, some of it was their fault, some of it, you know, you made bad decisions, but actually those people weren't there supporting me anyway. So it actually helped improve my situation. So like I said, small tasks, build momentum, and this is massively important. Once you build the positive momentum, it's hard when you're in that negative cycle, but once you build that positive momentum, so for me, I started getting to a good routine with the gym, I started eating clean, having a good healthy diet, I started putting time into the YouTube, I started putting time more into my trading. Wasn't actively trading as much, but I was focusing on learning to trade, I was focusing on putting everything back into trading. And like I said, when you get the momentum, you've got to keep it, because there was times where I felt good for a couple of weeks and I was focused, I was improving, and then you might slip into back up old bad habits and you lose all that momentum and you feel like you've got to start again. So like I said, if you're at this position, it's not necessarily all negative. You might feel like the world's collapsing at the time, but this is your time to think, right, I've got to rebuild, and it's the comeback season. So for me, like I said, this is the time to come back bigger, stronger in trading and outside. You've got to reinvent yourself. This is the time to come back and think, all right, maybe my trading's not going well. Maybe I'm failing. It's like, okay, now I need to reevaluate everything and start from fresh again. Obviously, I would say risk manage. You need to think about your account. If you've lost all your money in the account, you need to make sure that you are risking. I risk personally 1% of my capital so that I'm not going to blow my whole account, you know. But yeah, this is the time to come back. And this is what you have to do. You have to come back and, like I said, put positive habits in. So for me, going to the gym, getting into better shape. Not for the physical aesthetics, but because I knew I needed discipline. My biggest problem was discipline, and the fact that going to the gym teaches you the skill set of discipline. You know, it's long-term gratification. You don't look or make change overnight. It's those positive habits day in, day out, which then build long-term results. And that's the same with trading. And it's funny how a lot of these things link back to trading, because you might do trading for a year, 2 years, and not get many results. But by showing up every day, improving, slowly getting there, that's what's going to help you build into the person you need to be and start performing. Eliminate the bad habits. So for me, I just replace them, and it can be tough. I know it can be tough. You know, you have bad habits, it's hard to break them. But I just stopped it for 1 month and thought, I'm at the rock bottom. I'm gonna come back. So I'm gonna stop the things that I knew I needed to stop. So stop the things like eating bad food, going out with my mates, drinking for like 1 month, and replace that with the gym, so I could fill a gym and putting time into back testing my strategy and trading. watching like self-development people and watching trading people that I want to be like, and just started improving and getting there massively. Because like I said, when you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. Yeah, just like I said, reinvent yourself. You need to build the habits of discipline, because once you've got the discipline, there was times where I thought, oh, I want to go, oh, it's like sunny outside, you want to go out for drinks with your mates. But I was like, no, I'm sticking to the plan. And sometimes you do fall back into old ways, but overall, like a trend, you have positive, you have a downward period, positive, and you start building the upward trend and the upward momentum in life, which then comes back to your trading, where you start improving. So you need to use this as motivation to think, okay, I'm not where I want to be. You can get there. There's no reason why you can't. You need to put everything into it and work as hard as you can, and understand what your bad habits are. So everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to be at different stages, but this is just my story, you know. So yeah, coming back from the negative scenarios, it's now made me into a completely new person, a better person. So again, at the time, it was the worst thing in the world. Last year, horrendous. But now, you sit back and think, okay, in some ways, I'm not glad those things happened, but I've now become this person which wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have changed had I not come to rock bottom. Like I said, for most people, you can tell someone, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove. And then as soon as they touch it and burn their hand, that's the catalyst of like, right, I'm not going to do that again. And that was the same with me, and same with a lot of people that I know have been in these scenarios. So yeah, a bit of a different video, but I hope you guys get value and relate to the story and can use this as motivation, but also, you know, learn something from this scenario. You know, not all bad situations have to end up continuing being bad. They can reinvent. You can reinvent yourself and change into the person you want to be. So yeah, hope you guys get value from this video. If you do, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.